good to be back here. Thank you all for coming. I'm sort of not used to using the microphone. We've never had such a great crowd, just beautiful people today and this cold weather. So thanks for coming out, even on a Friday afternoon. Like, this is fun. So we're just going to have like an inflammation Friday afternoon party, I guess, in here. But yeah, good to be here. Good to be back. If you haven't been to one of my talks, my name is Mellisa Sandefur, and we're just right over here by the Goodwill at Millennial Medical Clinic, and it's named Eden Wellness is what I go under there. And actually, my office manager came with me today, Michelle. She's in the back, just wave. She came and have some help with me, but yeah, we're excited to be here. Excited you guys want to hear all about inflammation. Inflammation is definitely something that we all deal with at all ages, but it's definitely something that's going on a lot more around us and in our families. So I guess to start, oftentimes, I think we get like wrong communication out there in the fact that I feel like every time something goes wrong with our body, out there the message is fix it, fix it. It's wrong, fix it. Here's this, take this, fix it. And I don't think that's always the answer. I think that our bodies are communicating with us, and they're there to tell us like, help me, not fix me. So inflammation is one of the main things that you can see when we go over what it actually is, that it's there to help us. So it's kind of like this upside down view of what inflammation really is. If you look at your paper, inflammation is a normal response that our body does. So it's our body responding to something, and it's actually trying to save us. It is being our superhero, okay? So if you think about things that go on in your body that seem wrong, they're actually there to save you and be your superhero. So think about inflammation. Does that really fit all of the category that you would think a superhero would fit in? No, right? It's annoying. It hurts. It doesn't feel good, right? But it's a normal response that your body goes under to protect you. If that did not happen, something more critical and awful would happen. So the things that happen in our bodies, for example, when you get a stuffy nose, that stuffy nose is there to protect you. If your nose didn't get stuffy, something else horrible and more critical could happen. So these things are not needing to be fixed. When you get a fever, it's your body's natural response to take care of what's going on in your body. We don't need to fix it or stop it from happening. When inflammation goes on for a long time, it becomes chronic, and that's when we need to do something about helping it. But it's again there for a reason, so we need to figure out what that reason is that it's there. That can be hard sometimes, but if you work with a regenerative health practitioner, you can definitely get to the root of what's going on. But back to your paper. It's that protective mechanism that turns on, and it does three things. So the three things that inflammation is there to do, it's there to eliminate, which means it's going to eliminate the cause, whatever's causing it. It's going to repair the damage, and it's going to restore your body to homeostasis. So it's there to do three important things. If it can't do those three things, it can become chronic and lasting longer, and that can turn into an itis. So any of your itises are going to be caused from inflammation. So like gastritis, arthritis, all of the itises that you can think of, it's from inflammation in that specific system. So signs of inflammation, they're not hard to avoid, right? Like, or to see. Inflammation, it always makes itself known, right? If you pull a muscle, like we just moved, and so I lifted a couch, and although I tried to lift with my legs like you're supposed to, I pulled a little bit in my low back. Inflammation came right away. Like right, and I mean, I knew it was there, right? It gets red, you can feel it, it causes pain. Sometimes the pain can be like throbbing, aching. It could be like deep in there, almost like, have you all ever experienced that pain that's like, I can't even reach it. It's like deep inside the bone. Like I feel like I've got to really push inside there to get to that pain. That's inflammation. So it came, it did its thing. I helped it through the process by putting ice on it, some magnesium oil, just some different things that can help with that inflammation in the muscle. And so when I helped it through, it did its normal cycle. And a normal cycle for like a pulled muscle is 72 hours. So if you ever hurt a muscle, injure anything, that 72-hour process of inflammation will come and you can support yourself through it. But sometimes that can last longer. Like I said, it can become chronic if it lasts and if it doesn't go away, and then we need to figure out why it's not going away. So it can have redness, swelling, fever, pain, and these types of inflammation can come and be acute. So these types, like I dealt with that injury, it got better, I helped it through it, did its 72-hour course, and it went away. If I would have kept doing things, not resting, not taking care of it, and continued lifting heavy things, it probably could have become chronic, and I wouldn't have allowed myself to heal through it. So that can be where it could, transfer over to the more chronic if I continue to injure it and not let it get better. So you've got the acute, which is the short term, and then the chronic is the long term. So when things become chronic and chronically inflamed, like in joints, that thing can happen so easily if our joints are injured. I mean, and you think about resting joints, that's really hard to do because your joints do everything for you, like the bending, the sitting, the moving. So joints can be really, really achy. But if that becomes chronic, it does damage to the nervous system, actually. And so then when it gets into the nervous system, the nerves are actually triggered and they just kind of become this like constant pulsing of pain and radiation and that inflammation in that spot, especially in the joints. You can have inflammation that's systemic, which could be your whole body. If it's gone on chronic, sometimes that inflammation will spread throughout the body. And if it's gotten into the nervous system, it will definitely start spreading other places. Then you also have the local inflammation, which is just to the confined area. So we think about like why I was talking about my injury. It was this confined area on one side of my back. It didn't go into the other side. It was just one side confined. You think about toothaches, inflammation comes to that one tooth that's inflamed, right? You have neck pain, it's usually in that one area, it's inflamed. So it can be confined or whole body. This is where we talk about itises here. It's diagnosed due to inflammation. So again, if you have any itis, it's due to inflammation. Arthritis is inflammation of your joints, and it's because, so here's what happens. Your adrenals are naturally supposed to produce cortisone for your body when it becomes inflamed in your joints. If your adrenals are fatigued and can't produce that, then they're not doing your job, and so you're going to have more of that pain, more of that inflammation. And then what happens is, and you'll probably be familiar with this, you'll have swelling. And so the swelling comes because your body finds another way to bring that fluid into the area. And so it uses water and electrolytes, which is the swelling, right? So it's bringing that swelling into the area to help take care of the problem. But if the adrenals were doing well, they would be able to bring that cortisone in there and take care of the problem. So there's a lot that goes on with that. A lot of things affect that. And does anybody know what produces cholesterol in your body? What's responsible for producing cholesterol? Yes, you guys are so smart. See? So your liver also, if your adrenals aren't able to use the cholesterol to make the cortisone, then what else is struggling besides your adrenals? Your liver. So you've got 2 organs that are struggling in the process. When you have arthritis, 2 organs are weak and not functioning appropriately. So your body's telling you, if you have arthritis and inflammation, it's not to fix it. It's saying, could you help me? My liver, please help the liver. I'm struggling. Please support the adrenals. We're tired, right? 2 things are happening, and if we know those 2 things, we can support those and we can target the inflammation. The one thing I do have to say about inflammation is it does take a long time. If it's been chronic, inflammation will not just go away like my back did. If it's been chronic, inflammation can take up to 3 years to really get in control, okay? So that means you're consistently working towards eliminating, and also just knowing, like, when your body goes through a healing process, our life and our stress doesn't stop. So unfortunately, we can't move away to a really beautiful island while we're healing, because if we could heal a lot faster. But it's almost that progression. So if you imagine you're working towards healing, but life and stress are still going on, you can't make that stop. So you might make a few steps forward, but you might take 1 step back because, it was stress, right? And then you go the next week, you've made few steps forward, but then you've made a step back again. So it's a moving forward and backward, and that's why healing can take so long. So saying that, it's just being patient with your body, and it's never too late. Like, you're never too old, it's never too late to do any reversal of anything going on in your body. Because your body wants to keep you alive, and it wants you to pay attention to it. It doesn't want you to stop it from its processes, it just wants you to help it. So, all right, so we know adrenals and liver contribute to the arthritis. What we can do, making the steps forward and being consistent, is we can do anti-inflammatory foods. I did not put every anti-inflammatory food on this list. I just put a few things that are helpful to know that these things will make a difference in your body. Leafy greens. We all know this. Like, it almost feels like, right, our moms are telling us what to do again. So I feel like I'm your mom up here a little bit, but leafy greens, I mean, like, eat your veggies and your fruits. Berries are really good. Wild blueberries specifically are amazing. They're a little different than regular blueberries because they contain more antioxidants. They also contain more fiber. Fiber is so important for helping the body through inflammation. Fiber helps remove things from the body faster. You can imagine, that's why we tell you, like, fiber and bowel movements go together, so we're removing things out. But wild blueberries are super helpful for getting extra fiber in. Just an example of it, they have, so 1 cup of regular blueberries will have 3 grams of fiber, and 1 cup of wild blueberries has 6 grams of fiber. So more bang for your buck, right? Never too late to do that. And then figs are great, right? My grandmother used to eat figs all the time, and she always told me it was to keep her regular. So figs with fiber. Kiwi, it's high fiber too. Apples, pears, avocado, lean proteins are really good for that. The leaner the protein, the less inflammation it will cause in your system. So that's why the lean protein, it takes less time to digest. So when we say that the lean protein will cause less inflammation, the longer things take to digest in your system, the more acidity that it creates in your system. The more acidity you have in your system, the more inflammation you will have in your system. So it's just an ongoing process. So olive oil, super great. Avocado oil as well. Cruciferous vegetables are really high in fiber, and they're really good at ridding the body of things. Sweet potato. What is it? Cruciferous vegetables are cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels, cabbage, kale, All the smelly ones. All the smelly ones. Sweet potatoes, really good, really good. Anti-inflammatory herbs. So these are herbs that you can season your food with, but really easy. Cinnamon, ginger, turmeric. I'm sure you guys know a lot about turmeric. It helps with a lot of things. Rosemary, thyme, cayenne pepper, garlic, dandelion, and chamomile. So dandelion and chamomile you can use as teas. Those are really good. They help the system in so many ways. Some helpful tips. Okay, so when we have inflammation in our body, when we have those achy things going on, and we have to be patient, right, through the process of healing because we know it takes time. But when we're in pain, it's no fun, right? Pain is no fun. It makes it hard to want to do anything. So we need to help ourselves through the pain. Some things that can help are castor oil. Has anybody ever had experience with castor oil? Maybe back in the day, like, you had to drink it. I don't know. Sometimes that was the thing, is like, it was good to drink, but it's really helpful to rub over your joints if they're aching and hurting. So castor oil comes from a plant, and the plant scientific name, and I love this, it's so very, very cool, but the scientific name I have no idea how to pronounce, but it translates into the hand of Christ. So literally when you rub castor oil, you're rubbing the healing hands of Christ over whatever you want help with. So it just makes it more healing, I think. But anyway, you can use the castor oil, put it over your joints, and it just takes a little bit, like you would use lotion or like you would use Icy Hot. You know, you just put a little bit on there, you let it just do its thing. It will draw things out of the body. It helps to remove that inflammation and the whatever's causing that in there, the swelling. It helps with a ton of things. So castor oil is a good one. Magnesium oil is another. You can get magnesium oil. They sell it at Sprouts, right? Yes, the magnesium oil spray. It's concentrated real magnesium, so it's not going to be synthetic or made in a lab. It's concentrated oil that you just spray directly on your joints or muscles, and it helps a ton with pain and inflammation. So those are two things you could use.
How often should you use those?
You can use them up to 3 times a day for sure. Castor oil, the magnesium oil, you can apply 3 times a day. Magnesium oil is super good to apply at night, especially before bed, because it does help the muscles relax and help you sleep better. Because sometimes when you have achy joints or muscles, they can wake you up in the night, and that is no fun. So sleeping is healing, and you have to let yourself get really good rest. So magnesium oil is great for that. You do not want to get too much magnesium because you will deplete your body of other crucial minerals. So if you're using magnesium oil, I would highly recommend to not take your magnesium oil or your magnesium supplement. And then, okay, so you can also do magnesium or sea salt bath soaks. If you are someone who really enjoys that relaxing, calming, like bath soak and the warmth, that can help a lot. Sea salt soaks are not going to do anything to your magnesium levels, so you wouldn't have to worry about altering that. Sea salt is literally like soaking in the salt water. So salt water is very healing. It has tons of minerals, but it also helps bring down that inflammation. So you could use either of those. They sell magnesium and sea salt at Sprouts as well. We also have magnesium oil and both of these at the clinic. So if you are over by the Goodwill or anything, we're right over there. You can pick some up. You could do heat and ice. So it's important to alter those. You wouldn't want to put heat on there all the time, because if you think about, if you have inflammation, inflammation is hot. Inflammation is a fire. So you don't want to put more fire on fire constantly, right? So you let the muscles relax a little bit with the heat. You get them kind of relaxed, and then you go in with the ice. And that's the most important thing that needs to calm down is ice. So you put that ice on there, and you only want to use ice for about 20 minutes at a time. And then you want to alter that and do it every hour. So if you are under excruciating pain, lots of inflammation and swelling, you want to use your ice for 20 minutes every hour. For sure, but you could start with the heat for about 15 to 20 minutes, get it loosened, wait a little bit, and then do your ice. I wouldn't recommend doing the alternating between that. Just get it warm and loosened in the beginning, and then go to your ice, because you want to put the fire out. Okay. And then there's also rosemary, peppermint, and frankincense essential oils. So if you use essential oils or are familiar with those, they are very helpful. You could put a drop of each of those with some coconut oil and rub those on the area. They really help with pain and inflammation. So it's like a natural icy hot, basically. All right, thank you guys. See you next time.